Hey guys, welcome back to World of Tanks Ace Tanker series. Today we are playing with MrZorke in his T110E5. T110E5 is an American tier 10 heavy tank, and in this patch it got a serious buff on his armor, making this tank very hard to penetrate. And MrZorke is going to show us how do you play this tank and use the armor properly. Also, T110E5 has an excellent gun, and we will see MrZorke doing over 8000 damage in this game. We can see him moving on the heavy. He has a shot on the E50M that is trying to take a position, but unfortunately he only tracks the E50M. So MrZorke is not taking the standard heavy position, he is actually hugging the right ridge, which is very good because there is an artillery in the enemy setup. So from this position he can see the AMX 5100 that is camping on the standard tank destroyer position. And he's waiting patiently for the AMX 5100 to pop back up and put some shots in him. And here is one of those shots. Very nice, tracking the 5100. Now we can see the E100 trying to poke, and MrZorke patiently waiting for the track, but he doesn't penetrate, sadly. And the reload time on the gun of the T110E5 is excellent. You can see that the E100 managed to repair, but another tracking shot from the MrZorke. So enemies are playing quite aggressively. The T57 Heavy is pushing the bottom side of the left flank, trying to take a few shots on the enemies. MrZorke is still waiting for the E100 or the AMX 5100 to come back and to put more shots in them. And sometimes you really have to play patiently, as he is playing now. Do not expose your tank to enemy fire if you don't need to. And more on this position, it's quite good position for a medium tank, but as you can see, MrZorke is playing this position with a heavy tank. A bit unusual to see a heavy tank here, but it works quite great for him. He is now climbing the ridge and trying to see what's on the other side and what he can shoot. He finds a AMX 5100 and finishes him. And we can see a light tank trying to flank him. Very unusual situation for a light tank to rush a heavy, but MrZorke turns around and puts a really good shot in him. E50M is now rushing the I7. There's quite a lot of things happening right now, and this situation is really not that great for MrZorke. He tried to defend the IS-7 and puts one shot in E50M, but E100, T57 and IS-3 are pushing on him. He puts another shot in E100 and bounces 3 shots, 1 miss, 2 miss, and you can really see the armor of the T110E5 standing here. And the enemies are shooting really bad. Killing shot on the E100 doesn't go through. So MrZorke finished this engagement with 4 tanks on full HP. Now he's putting shots in IS-3. Excellent reload on this gun allows him to put a lot of shots in quick succession. And when the opportunity presents itself, you really have to take it. Now he is climbing back up to try and shoot the tanks on the other side. And he finds the scout that was attacking him earlier. There's a Luva in front of him and the IS-3 on the left side of him. Blind shot on the IS-3, but he doesn't kill him. A AMX 5120 is on the other side of the map. but a good gun on T110E5 manages to find the target. He sees the 50-120 again and puts another great shot in him. So MrZorke has IS-7 on his back to cover against the E100 and IS-3. While IS-7 is covering him, he can do a lot of damage on Luve. And this is the first shot in a long time from T-44. He managed to find MrZorke's cupola on the side. The cupola on this tank is very strong. When facing frontally, it is almost impossible to penetrate. Even the tumor that's on the cupola is hard to penetrate now. It has been buffed and it's around 260 millimeters of armor. So the one weak spot from the front of the tank is now not a weak spot. If you are planning to shoot at this tank, best bet where you can penetrate is the belly of the lower plate. We can see MrZorke is continuing to put shot after shot into the enemies. And the situation on the map is not that great. They're left 4-7, but MrZorke kills the Luve and changes the statistics in their advantage. And on the other side, IS-8 appears. He puts one good shot in MrZorke but he was turning his turret, but MrZorke replies the favor. He's now front facing the IS-8. And the IS-8 is... I don't know what this guy is doing, he's just driving forward. Now he's aiming at MrZorke. Aiming and aiming and aiming, and he fired and he bounced on the T110E5. As I said, this tank got a serious buff, and as you can see, the gun on the IS-8 from that distance wasn't able to finish him. Luve puts a good shot in E100 and ties the game. It's now 4-4. But the tanks on MrZorke's team are better. A tier 10, tier 9, tier 8 against tier 9s on the enemy's side. And the cap starts and the AMX 50-120 appears near the cap. So we can assume that it wasn't him who is capping. Must be something else. 50-120 kills the artillery, and MrZorke, Luve and Jagdtiger are pushing on him now to kill him. If they eliminate the top tank in the enemy team, the rest of the game is going to be easier. Luve and Jagdtiger put good shots in AMX 50-120 and kill him. And the cap resets. Something that was capping just went away. Artillery killed the Jagdtiger meanwhile. So MrZorke is trying to find the capping tank. He's thinking that the tank may went the right side, but he doesn't spot him. And there he is, the T-44. A miss on the T-44, and MrZorke is now out of regular shells. He has to use heat now. Auto aim on the T-44, and really you can see that the T-44 can't do anything here. MrZorke is just bullying this guy. Sadly to see the shells shoot the T-44, the heat shell. Luve killsteals this tank from MrZorke. And it's always good to hide from the artillery, but as we can see, the artillery fired somewhere on the right side. So MrZorke is not moving. We don't know what he's doing. Even the friends in his team ask him, "What's up? Why don't you move?" And actually we can see he is saying sorry to the T-44 for using heat. What a great guy. So all that's left now is to find the artillery and the IS-3. Remember, that's the IS-3 that was camping the base. And as soon as MrZorke finds them, he can finish this game. So Löwe is advancing on the J line, trying to find the artillery, which is camping probably somewhere on the J0. And MrZorke is yet again going on the left side through the heavy line, trying to find the IS-3. So in this game we were able to see how T110E5 armor is holding up. Every time MrZorke was facing forward, enemy tanks had really much trouble penetrating him. And in my opinion, that puts this tank in probably one of the best tanks of tier 10. Of course, I'm talking about the heavies. So MrZorke is checking the last position where IS-3 was spotted, but he doesn't get spotted. That means that probably IS-3 either doesn't see him or isn't in that position. So taking a bit longer route on the left side, he is still trying to find the IS-3. But I don't know if you guys noticed, but there is only one tank in the enemy team. And yeah, artillery suicided. Such a strange thing for artillery to do in these games. And the capture on the friendly base starts. So either Löwe or MrZorke have to go back. And MrZorke is telling Löwe go cap, and he is rushing back. So remember, this is a standard game mode, so MrZorke has really small window of opportunity to go back and reset the cap. And the T110E5 isn't the fastest tank of the tier 10s. Will he make it in time? So good thing is that we know where IS-3 is. He is capping the base. And if MrZorke only puts one shot in him, he's going to win. And he is probably going to get to the cap and reset in time. But he still needs to find the IS-3. A lot of houses are still here. He is going forward, and here is the IS-3. So he couldn't get the shot on the IS-3, and oh, IS-3 tracks him. This is quite interesting. Only 20 seconds left. 15. MrZorke is trying to find the shot on the IS-3, and he finishes him. And that's GG. Let's take a look at the post-game stats. As we can see, MrZorke got a lot of medals, like Bruiser, Duelist, Fighter, Fire for Effect, Shellproof, Defender, Confederate, Steel Wall, High Caliber, and of course the Mastery Badge Ace Tanker. On the team score sheet, we can see that MrZorke finished first with 1387 experience, doing 8900 damage and 5 kills. On the detailed report, you can see that MrZorke fired 32 shots, of which 29 hit the target and 24 penetrated. Very good game for him. Thank you all for watching. If you didn't like the video, drop a dislike or leave a comment how I can improve the channel. And if you liked the video, hit the like button, share and subscribe for more content, as it really helps me out a lot. And also don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Google Plus to get the new content first, every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. And if you're wondering what to watch next, hit the little I button in the top right corner and it will lead you to another video. See you guys next time.